WAN 2.2 video generation is the next level of generation. And you most likely know this, which is why you're clicking on this video. People have probably shown you how mind-blowing this AI content is, and you're probably inspired to go learn how to do it and learn how to use it. Well, you're in luck, because today I'm going to be talking you through the exact process that you need to follow to be able to make WAN 2.2 content, and also to be able to go viral and monetize this content so you can start making money online. Because this is the best method of generation and will remain the best method of generation for quite some time now. Although this is the fastest growing business model in the world, it does take some time to level up. And WAN 2.2 is already at such an extremely high level, it's very, very hard to beat it. On a quick side note, one of my last videos, I compared WAN 2.2 with Flux. Now, I don't want you to get these mixed up. Flux is a very old model of video generation, so it's very important that you use WAN 2.2, and this is why I'm going to be teaching you this whole tutorial today on how to make AI images and also how to make AI videos, especially trending AI videos. So make sure you stay for the rest of the episode, because this is going to be a very important one when it comes to marketing. So let's get into the video today. We're going to start off with looking at how to generate AI images, and we're going to talk through the basic process of using WAN and what WAN actually is. Generating images. This is normally quite a complicated process and needs to be done very well, otherwise your images and your general content as a whole is going to be at pretty poor quality. So firstly, we're going to use a platform called Comfy. Now I'm going to play a short tutorial now of how you would use Comfy. Now a lot of people, they always try to do this nerd stuff. They always try to download it on their computer or buy a massive computer and try to run it off that. That is not needed. You can simplify this, and anyone can do this. You can do this on a laptop. I personally do it on a laptop because I travel around, so I need this with me constantly, and obviously having it on a massive computer is not suitable. So I'm going to teach you how to do this like a normal person rather than doing it as if you're a nerd, because designers and stuff, they're obviously great, they do brilliant content. However, you can replicate that in this method that I'm going to teach you now. So here's a small tutorial on comfy.ui.
So let's look into image generation. Now we're going to be using this platform called Mimic PC. Now the reason we're going to be using this is because this is going to allow us to host a platform called comfy.ui without having an advanced computer. I'm currently on a laptop. If you don't believe me, I'll probably just pick the screen up and move it around. I'm on a laptop. So you don't need any techie nerd stuff. You don't need like really advanced computers. You don't need a GPU. A lot of the time people think you need like a graphics card to be able to create these images. You don't. You can do it as if you are a normal person on a pretty poor quality laptop. That's absolutely fine. So this is a good quality laptop, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do it. So firstly, Mimic PC is normally the platform we would use, mainly because it's very easy to get workflows. If you go onto the discovery section here, as you can see, there is public workflows here, which you can actually use. Now, I'm not really sure what the best ones would be. Personally, I get mine made for me. But if you click on image generation, I'm sure you can find one in here, which is going to allow you to create some sort of images. If you can't, then once again, there's other platforms, civic.ai, that kind of stuff, which you can obviously go onto. Bear in mind, you may need to put a VPN on if you're in countries like the UK, because obviously they ban any of them platforms for some reason, UK in it. Yeah, we're going to be using this platform here. Once you have your workflow, you obviously have it good to go here. Everything's set up, and all you need to do really is click quick start. But I'm going to talk you through a little bit more about the platform. So firstly, you need to buy storage. This shouldn't really be too hard. Normally it's pretty cheap. If we look at the price here, yeah, if we want to go down to like, I can't even show you what the lower end is, but the max price there is obviously $40. You won't need 1,000 storage. I think 150 is like £7 or something like that. So yeah, that's all that's needed there. And also you need some credits as well. So if you add credits, that's going to allow you to images. Now, if I load up this section here, this is like the starting settings. So we're going to be using this student workflow today. I'm going to put up the student settings here. If we have a look here, we can obviously maximize and minimize this section. Now, this section here is your folder layout. So if you have just bought a LoRa or something, normally you can go into the models bit, you can go into LoRAs, and then you can obviously add your LoRa in here. What you can do is simply press this upload button, upload it into here, and your LoRa will be basically added to a folder, which is obviously very good. Obviously, I don't need to do that. I don't need to upload anything, and all the folders are already set up because this workflow was pre-made for me. So all I needed to do was basically click go. That's another massive benefit of using this platform. So that's the first thing. Once everything's set up, you've added your LoRa into here, everything should be absolutely perfect and you should be ready to go. Now today we're going to be loading up a Flux workflow, mainly because unfortunately I'm not going to be able to show you my WAN 2.2 workflow. Obviously that's been pre-made for me as well. I'm just not going to be showing you that, but I can show you this Flux workflow that I do have and I have been using for absolutely months to be able to generate content. It's a little bit outdated now, but once again it is very good and does perform very, very well. So let me show you this. How do I load it up? Now firstly, these things here are online GPUs. So if I did have a big nerdy computer, it would most likely have one of these in it. These are online GPUs, so it's basically just connecting your computer up to this GPU, allowing you to be able to use comfy.ui. That's pretty much what this platform does. I always go with Ultra Pro, super fast, because obviously that is kind of the quickest. That's all you really need to do. Select that instant and click generate or click start. This is obviously going to load it up. Now, as you saw there, it said like $2 per hour. If you operate this comfy.ui for 2 hours, you're out the top. 1 hour, sorry, it's going to be $2.40. So it's a little bit expensive, this platform. That is a little bit more expensive than, let's say, like RunPod or something like that. But it's a lot easier to use and it's a lot more simplified. So now I'm going to wait 30 seconds to 2 minutes for this to load. Once it's loaded, obviously I'll come back. I can talk you guys through it. But this is how we're going to be generating our images. We're not going to be using online generators because a lot of the time they're pretty low quality and they take a lot of time, a lot of tokens, and it's not normally great. We're going to be using this type of generation which is specifically orientated around comfy workflows. So this is obviously loaded. It's now going to take about a minute or two more to be able to pull up this screen. So a little bit of patience is obviously required here, but I'll come back to you soon.
I'm going to pause it right there. You may be thinking, what is a LoRA? Now, a LoRA is basically like the DNA of a model. Once again, I've done videos in the past on my channel, so feel free to look at them where I go over definitions and stuff like that. But LoRA is like the DNA of the model, and it requires a certain amount of images to put together to be able to create this DNA. Once this model is created, which normally takes quite a while, you can then plug this into your Comfy workflow. That's allowing you to create unlimited images of that specific model. So it's very, very important. If you have a low quality LoRA, everything's fucked. You're gonna have to start again. So this is why it's extremely important to make sure you have a professional trained LoRA. Whether you become the professional yourself of a month or two worth of coaching, or you simply pay a designer to be able to make that for you. It's up to you. Carry on with the tutorial.
Nice one. So this thing has finally loaded, which is obviously very good. So let me talk you through this and how or what it actually is. So this is going to look confusing, obviously. So don't get too scared. I'm going to talk you through it. This is a Comfy workflow. Now this generates images. I put in an input image there. I put in my LoRA. I put in certain prompts, adjust the settings, and then I get an output image here. This has a built-in skin enhancer, as you can see, skin texture enhancer. And it also has an upscaler somewhere in here, which I don't really know. There is upscale image. So basically what happens is I select the reference image. So this is just giving the AI information on what style of image I want. And then I have a prompt. I attach my LoRA. It goes through the whole workflow. It upscales the image, enhances the skin, and then I get an output at the end. So to be fair, I could probably generate something and give you an example. Once again, this is obviously a Flux workflow. So firstly, I want to select my model. So selecting Grace there. Now, once you've selected the model, obviously I've got current LoRAs already selected as well. I've got my reference image. This is an AI model by the looks of it. And then I'm just going to click generate. So the generate button is obviously down the bottom here. And that's going to start generating at the top here, as you can see. So now that's going to go through this whole workflow. It's going to enhance it. It's going to skin enhance it. And then it's going to give an output at the end. Now, once again, this is a Flux workflow. So this does take a little while to load. It's a little bit slower than WAN workflows. WAN's are a lot quicker and a lot higher quality. But let's see how it generates. So let's have a look. So it's currently generating the first image. Now this image here has obviously come out all right. It looks like the model, correct shape of the face, blah, blah, blah. A little bit weird on its top, but we can easily fix that in Photoshop. Now if we scroll down, it's now upscaling this image, which is obviously great. It's going to improve the quality, and then it will obviously skin enhance. Now with WAN 2.2, most of the time you don't need to do this upscale, and most of the time you don't need to do a skin enhance. It just goes through pretty smoothly and has a very good output. So this is one reason why Flux is a bit outdated, because you need to do this upscale and you need to do this skin enhance to be able to get good quality Flux images. Obviously that takes a lot more time. So this workflow I think takes around 3 minutes per image, which is once again very slow. WAN can do it in under a minute. and it can beat the quality. So this is another reason why we'd use a WAN workflow. But I'm just showing you now, just so you guys get an understanding of how workflows work and how you would make these images. So now there's obviously an output at the end here. As you can see, we can do like a little skin enhancer, and that just changes the skin, because obviously Flux, what they often do is kind of have very poor skin's pigmentation. So, and the enhancer on there kind of smooths it out, makes it look a little bit better. Now, this quality isn't too bad. Once again, it's Flux, so the skin looks very plastic still, but it's good enough to use on social media. You know, once again, I've been using this for a while and it's absolutely fine. But WAN is obviously slightly better. It doesn't require an upscale and a skin enhancer, once again, so it speeds up the process. It doesn't normally have these kind of imperfections here with clothing or anything like that. It's a lot more accurate. So as you can see, that's obviously a great image and it can be used, can be saved, but it's not something that we would normally do. We would normally use a better, more advanced workflow in the exact same process as we have just done there. So that's how you generate an image. Obviously to stop this, you simply just stop the machine and that's the end there. But that's how you would make an AI image from Comfy workflow without having all the nerdy techie stuff. Hopefully that obviously is a good tutorial for you guys, and yeah, obviously very important. One thing that I would obviously mention is you do need a LoRa, so make sure that you have the correct LoRa, and hopefully I've explained that to you guys already. LoRas are extremely important to attach to this model. If you have a bad LoRa, you're going to get a bad output. You need a good LoRa so you can get a good output, ideally on a WAN 2.2 workflow with a WAN 2.2 LoRa, because these unfortunately aren't compatible. So very important stuff.
Now your workflow may look very different to that, and getting your hands on workflows are normally extremely important. With our mentorship program, we normally give you a workflow and give you a LoRa for free or within the package. So whenever you join the mentorship program, you get taught how to use this, and then you get given the resources to be able to do this, which is extremely powerful, and which is why people who join the mentorship program start 10 times quicker than anyone else. However, if you were to look for yourself for a workflow, have a look in the description. There may be one down there, or alternatively, platforms like civic.ai or just online workflows can be found. In fact, I even provide a workflow to some people online. So if you are interested, there's also an option there. Now, we used to need to do a lot of post-production editing. This is where we go into the images, correct the hands, we correct the face, correct everything. However, nowadays you don't normally need to do this. And the reason you don't need to do this is because WAN is so advanced. The probability of you getting a correct image is 10 times higher than what it was with Flux, which was like the previous model of generation that we used, or the previous leader of the market. But now using WAN, you can simply generate images, click your finger, and they normally come out correct. Now when you generate these images, there's normally two ways to be able to generate, with a prompt or with an image. So this is normally text to image generation or image to image generation. Now, if you want the best output, you normally want to use both of these, mainly because you're going to be giving the AI more information to be able to take away and then create that image for you. So that's normally the quite important step. Now bear in mind, WAN 2.2 can also do not safe for work content. That is a possibility. So if you are looking at going into the adult industry, which is quick money, then you can absolutely do this with WAN 2.2. So that is also an option there, which is great, which once again, previously Flux couldn't really do. We'd have to do a lot of add-ons to be able to get that not safe for work content. So very good. So now we know how to make these images. What we're going to do with them. Now firstly, we get them on our social media platforms. Obviously I've shown you how to do that in the past on the channel once again, but getting these up onto Instagram is extremely important. Creating that nice portfolio of photorealistic images is great. So when I mean photorealistic, I mean an image that looks like it has been taken by a real person. If you're taking a square by square headshot, most people don't post that on Instagram. However, if someone was taking a picture of me now in front of a lovely view, then obviously that is going to be something that you'll post online. So make sure it's photorealistic on your social pages, and that's already going to help you grow an audience. But you may be thinking, Reels are the main method of marketing. Most people use Reels to bring in that external audience to their page, but Reels require videos. How are we going to get these videos? Now I'm going to show you that now. Now this is a video generation method which I've been using to go viral multiple times on multiple of my influencers accounts, and it's very, very powerful, especially if you're working in partnership with real models. So let me get into it now. This method here is where you're going to be replicating real models content. So there's a model that has created a real TikTok or Instagram. This model is currently going viral, getting lots of views. Then there's your AI model here, picture of them, which obviously looks great, very HD. And then there's also the output of your AI model replicating that dance. So kind of putting 2 and 2 together to be able to create that end video of your AI model dancing as if she was the real model. Now that is how we're going to go viral, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that now, as it is quite easy and it is quite quick, and it's a great way to get views on your social platforms. So into the tutorial now, I'll get back to you soon.
Nice one. So we've created an image, now we are ready to create a video. Now this is a platform, once again, WAN videos. Pretty simple name, very relevant, and we're going to be making AI videos on this platform here. Now what we are going to need is a base video, so you're most likely going to need to have Instagram ready to go so you can create a base video that you're going to use as a reference or guidance to tell the AI what you want to generate. But this platform here, obviously WAN 2.2 and also 2.5 is available, can create very high-tech videos, especially of your AI model, so it is a very good platform to use. Obviously, there's other platforms such as Kling, which is also a very good competitor. There we are. But this doesn't have quite as much prompt guidance and the quality is slightly lower. So we're going to be using this to be able to copy these trends. And you may have seen it on my page already, me like copying trends and just demonstrating them. For example, there was one that was pretty good the other day. This one here, real model on the left, AI model on the right. And as you can see, copying the trends pretty much perfectly. There is a slight, obviously, mutation. I don't know if you saw it in the arm on the right hand side here. Yeah, once again, very good mimicking here, and it literally took like 8 minutes to generate. Very quick as well. We're going to be talking you through exactly how we're going to do this. Yeah, hopefully you guys can then use it to go viral. Just alone, in fact, I believe this got like 45k. So I got 45k on my page. Yeah, not too bad. It's decent. So, especially if you guys put it on your own AI model pages, I'm sure you can go viral pretty quickly. So, firstly, we want to go down to this section here and click on the avatar bit. Now, avatar allows us to then obviously mimic these movements, and as you can see, I have done it before in the past. So there's let's go through some of these actually. So here's one. As you can see in the top right, there's an original video there of the same model that I copied a minute ago, and as you can see, the video isn't too bad, but has got some minor mutations. It started off very well, and then the more it got into the video, the more mutations there are. As you can see here, pause it at the end. There's lots of obviously mutations in the video. Now this is a very common thing you see with AI. A lot of the time, AI can always get the first 5 seconds absolutely perfect, and it pretty much does. But after that, it normally struggles. So if you are looking to make like a 30-second video, then the first 15 seconds will probably be good, and then the ending 15 seconds are going to be bad. So it's just a very common thing, no matter what you use, and which is why it's quite important to give AI as much information to be able to get the best quality output. So the better the video, the better the output, the better the image you put in, the better the output. But let's have a look. This one here. This one clearly didn't work very well. Now this original video was me at a desk with a laptop, and then obviously I tried to put a model over the top and it didn't work. So this does work to an extent. However, when it's very complicated reels such as this, then obviously it's not going to work as well. More basic ones, obviously very good. It's me in front of my car, and obviously I should change myself to a chick. And then very simple ones like this, where it's just a stationary face, left and right. Obviously looks amazing, and it can help your page out massively. This also has perfect lip sync. So this is going to be able to lip sync anything you say. If you start talking to the camera, then it's going to be able to lip sync it. As you can see, open my mouth in that one. It has teeth are perfect. Obviously that used to be a problem back in the day. The more basic and the closer up the video, the better the quality. The further away and the more advanced the video, the lower the quality. Just keep that in mind. Anyways, one more thing that you need to keep in mind before we start generating. The reference image that you input down here, obviously it needs to be very similar to the video. So if you can see just below my head here, if you go there, you can see there is a reference image and then a video. As you can see, the reference image shows half the model's body and the reference video shows half the model's body. If we go down a bit more, this here is obviously me taking a selfie in front of the car, and then once again the model, if I try to zoom in a little bit, don't know how well that's going to work, not very well by the looks of it, but the AI model is holding a selfie as well. So once again, it converted a lot better. Same kind of detail here, and so on. Selfie. So whatever reference video you do, you want to have a reference image which is very similar. But let's get into the actual generation side of things. So we want to go to the avatar section here, and then we want to go to character swap, and then normally you want to go to pro. I wouldn't recommend standard, recommend pro. Then what a target video. and then your character. So the character can be what we just made. Now I'm loading this image in. It's most likely going to say at the top it needs to be smaller, like 5 megapixels. If it doesn't, then great. But that's obviously loaded in there, which is good. Now we want to find a reference video, which is similar kind of shot to that. This is where you obviously go onto Instagram, get on your reels and start scrolling. So let's do a video of myself. Now I'm just going to use this video here of me talking. Obviously you can find a trending video of some model that's gone viral, and that's obviously going to be a lot better. But I'm just going to use this failed reel here, which only got like 3k views. It probably isn't the best. Or maybe even this one here. But I'm going to use this with no text. Now I've got a Chrome extension, so I can just simply click download. If not, obviously you can just take it, copy the link, download it externally. That's going to work absolutely fine. Chrome extension is pretty good though. And then you just upload it into here. Now that video was like 3 minutes long, so it didn't let me upload it. So I'm actually going to get probably this one. Hopefully that's a lot shorter. So there we are. I've just made a video because both of them videos were like 2 minutes long, me waffling away as per normal. So if you have a look here, you'll see this video is one I just made, and you can adjust the time frame if you want. I'm going to keep this at 10 seconds, might as well, and let that load in. Now once that's loaded in, you simply click generate. Now this is either going to go through or it's not. If it doesn't go through, then you're going to have to change something. Whether that's the target video, whether that's the character, it's normally going to let you know at the top. This one obviously said submitted. So it goes through, and now it's got about 9 minutes until it's pretty much fully done. So we're going to wait for that, and then we're going to see the result. In this video, I'm talking. So let me show you that now. This is the video here, me chatting away. This video specifically for this WAN 2.2 transfer. So as you can see, I'm changing depth, I'm using expressions, I'm talking, and I moves left and right. So we're going to see how well that actually works. Obviously, that's quite a complicated video. It's very straight up. It's just my face, but it's quite complicated in terms of the movements. Any other platforms like Runway, for example, you can't go forward and backwards. So obviously that's going to be a problem. When it comes to Kling, you can't obviously copy lip sync, can't copy exact movements. So obviously that's going to be a problem as well. Most other video generation methods, you can't copy the exact movement. You have to prompt it into existence. With this, you can copy exactly how I am moving, and also it does perfect lip sync. What this isn't going to do is change the voice. So it's still going to be my voice on that AI character. However, there is ways to be able to get around that, which I'm not going to be showing you today, but there is methods that we can use. Nice one. So as you can see, this has loaded. So let's have a look at it. I haven't actually looked yet. This was first attempt. Hands are correct, which is good. I'm looking at the hands right now on the first generation here. So all the hands look good, which is normally the main problem. If you try to do something like this on Kling or Runway, the hands are going to mutate most of the time. So let's go into the face. The face looks good. It's not too bad. I'd say the one problem here is obviously the jawline of the model is a lot harsher, because obviously I've got a male face structure, or I hope I look male. And then obviously she's obviously a female with quite a narrow face. So it has kind of gone for a middle ground here. So if you are going to be making videos, I would ideally recommend a model that looks like your model, or some sort of female to female rather than male to female. But as you can see, lip sync, pretty good. I'll turn the audio on. I make this video specifically for this WAN 2.2 transfer. So if you need to work out why I'm talking about this. And then obviously it moves left and right, forward and backwards, and it maintains quality, which is very, very good. So overall, I'll be very happy with this, and that would be something that I can post on my page. If I was to then go change the voice, normally I'd use play.ht, and I would simply just change the voice over on this platform here, because it's got a voice changer. So it's pretty easy. Upload the video, click another voice, change the voice, done. So this is then exactly how you would use this software here specifically. So this is how you would use this software here to be able to make this AI content and then be able to upload it to your page. Imagine if this was a viral video that you can simply swap to your AI model and then upload as a authentic new piece of content that is yours. Very, very powerful stuff. So this is why this is essential. And this is why WAN 2.2 is obviously the future of design, or is the current method of design. Once again, if you've done this with Kling, done this with Runway, the hands would be mutated, the face would look plastic, the lip sync would be off. WAN 2.2 can tick all the boxes. WAN 2.5 can also do this as well. Now this is, I believe, a 2.2 generator. Obviously, if you had a 2.5, which I believe you can get on the AI video section here, then obviously you can also do things via prompts, but you can't directly mimic trends. This is simply a prompt generator. This is why going to WAN 2.2 on that character swap is obviously a lot more advanced, because you can get specific movement that's currently trending, as well as the audio to the correct beat at the correct time, and then be able to upload that, which is obviously very, very powerful. So hopefully this tutorial has helped you guys.
But this full-blown tutorial is extremely important to you guys. You guys want to make money online, and you also want to do it via making AI content. Now, there's a few ways of doing this. Obviously, the way that I normally prioritize is AI OFM. So if you were interested in that, then obviously that's a great path to go down, and it's going to be able to make you a lot of money, basically making an AI OnlyFans model. But obviously, if you want to go on another path like influencers or adverts or anything like this, it is extremely important within modern society. In fact, in 1 year, most people are going to be using AI content, whether they're real, whether they're fake, whatever. They can simply replicate themselves with AI content and be able to be an influencer online. So you don't need the aesthetics, you don't need that certain niche, or be a complete weirdo or nutcase online. You can simply use AR models as an influencer online, and then obviously receive the benefits that online creators get. But I truly know that this is the future of social media, and obviously social media is a big thing within this world. So if you are obviously interested in learning, feel free to watch the rest of this YouTube channel. I've also got an Instagram, toby.now, where I put additional tips and tricks up, or maybe drop like a free workflow or something like that every now and then. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to follow there. But overall, hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you check the description for any additional information that you may need, and best of luck with your AI creators. Because as we all know, they are the future, and you're going to want to get involved sooner rather than later. You don't need to become a specialist, but you just need to be aware of what the capabilities of these AI influencers are, so you can then obviously create a good output, have a better standard of living. So thank you guys, and I'll see you later.